going to talk to you guys about our arrow setups here real quick here at the ranch before we go out hunting tonight. This is something we get a lot of questions from you guys about, and in the past we haven't went into a ton of specifics on it. We've just kind of gave you some general info. But today we're going to go through each of our arrow setups, talk about our bows a little bit, and we're going to put cards on the screen right here that show you the specifications of the arrows and our bows, our draw lengths, all that stuff. So if at the end of this video you really like Ted's setup or your Ted size and you want to shoot what he's got, you can just follow the cards and all the specs and then go and buy your arrows if that's what people want.
Yeah, we'll have to put up our bow specs and our body specs so you can know who to copy.
Percent muscle mass, fat and all that.
Ted's 6'8".
Yeah.
6'8", 6'9".
All right, I'll start off. This is my Bear Adapt that I shot for the last year or so. I don't remember exactly how long it is. Are these 32 axle to axle? I think most of them are. And I'm shooting the Sirius Geminis right now. I shot the Apollos before this and they were great. They are a little bit heavier arrow grains per inch than the Geminis. And if I'm not mistaken, Troy, I think the Geminis are slightly smaller diameter. They're not?
204s.
They're both 204s. Okay, sorry, my mistake. Well, these are a little bit lighter than the Apollos. Not by much, though.
27, 30 grains.
Yeah.
30 grains probably.
So I don't know exactly what this arrow's weighing. My Apollos before were right about 650, and I didn't change the broadheads. I think the insert system is about the same.
Yeah, so you're at 600.
Yeah, we'll weigh it. We'll show you. But anyway, I got long arms. If anybody's shooting really long draw lengths, I think they're full length arrows, or pretty close to them. They're really long. Logs that I'm sending downrange. But I got the Magnus 150 grain single bevel on there. Been shooting that a lot along with the Cutthroat 150 grain single bevel that I've shot now for several years. And I've floated anywhere from 550 to 650 grains. Had pretty similar results across the board. Trajectory gets a little bit flatter the lower that you go, but average shot distance on a deer for me is like 17 yards. So
I would like to make a comment.
Go ahead.
He did hit one in the humerus ball, and that was a 650 grainer.
Yep, and it cut it off. So that's mine. That's my setup. For any of you long arm folks out there, it works great.
I have a habit of every time Troy enters the frame, the camera tilts to the side a little bit. I'm not sure what that means.
I think a lot of it is because he comes in and does
it comes in like that. So it's just like, yeah.
578.6. 579.4 if you jump on the... we can make it heavy if we jump up and down.
There you go.
I've actually got a couple right here because this is the setup that I used last year and I may end up using again. This is the Magnus single bevel. I shot a hog last year with this one and then a deer as well. I really liked it. 150 grain. This is the Sirius Gemini. 4 fletch on there. Pretty long fletch. The AAE hybrid, whatever that means. And then, at least for now, I've got a light up knock on there. What are they called?
Lighted knock.
Lighted knock. Well, lights up. Yeah, in the past I've struggled with them just because I've had them break off and they've just been very inconsistent. But Troy taught me that these ones work pretty well. So these are the Loom Knock. I bought 9 of them, so even if they break, we've got them. Got them on most of my arrows and pretty excited about it. But on this arrow, I've got a 200 grain Ranch Fairy broadhead. Been shooting this and it's flying really well. So I'm definitely considering keeping a 200 grain broadhead on there this season. This arrow is right around 610 grains, and then this is right around 550 to 60. I want to say it's like 58 or something, but
We'll weigh them and show you exact figures here on the screen.
yeah, so little things change, to get it above 550, for example, like having the lighted knock in there and different little things. But yeah, I'm not real sure which one I'm going to go with. I'm going to try to test this on a hog as long as I don't keep missing, but those are my 2 arrow options going into this season, and I would say that they'll stay pretty close to that.
What do you got over there, Tidrick?
I got the same bow I've been shooting the last couple years, and then this year I'm shooting these Supernova arrows from Sirius. Last year I shot the Geminis, but now I've got these. I believe they're the same weight and everything as the ones I shot last year. They're 250 grain, or 250 spine.
Yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Mine's are 250s and yours are 250s.
Yes. Which is actually something I changed last year and ended up getting a lot better arrow flight after that.
We did that down here.
Yeah, down here. Yeah, I went from
So you had
300
300s.
spine.
Yeah.
So something I think that's worth noting is if you're about the size of Ted and I, for example, a lot of shops will tell you you're like right on the edge of either one, and they'll probably push you to go 300. But if you're not getting the flight that you want, try 250. Just do that.
So just for those of y'all that aren't familiar with spine, 250 stiffer, and there are advantages to that for stiffer on impact. They're just not going to flex as much. We did some high-speed stuff earlier. I need the high-speed camera so I can play with like a 400 spine arrow and shoot it into a big skull.
I mean, even the 300 spine though.
The 300 spine 400 grain arrow that we shot in there a while ago was doing a lot of wiggling.
A lot of flexing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we shot into the pig skull with the high
look
speed.
at Ted.
I don't know if we can show that in this video because YouTube doesn't like that graphic type of content, but it was moving a lot.
You are the heavy arrow champion, 631.
Oh, really?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
that is a log.
I didn't know I was
That's
shooting
awesome.
that heavy.
That's 631, and see, your arrow is about the same length as Zach's, I think.
Oh, I'm sure they're probably about exactly.
Pretty close. Yep. Almost identical.
Just the difference in the wall diameter on the two.
Yep. So
Is
that
so?
one's just a little heavier GPI. Does he have a heavier insert system in his?
Those look like they're the big,
Yep.
like they're bigger insert systems.
Do you like your Supernova so far, huh?
Yeah, I've put them in there and they flew about exactly the same as the Geminis that I was shooting last year, so didn't have to do any adjusting. Just slapped them in there and ready to rock.
They've looked real nice in your quiver on this trip.
Yeah.
Because that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
I don't have any bloody
I
ones
got
now.
scuffed up yet.
They carry well.
Yeah.
So,
What about you, Nicholas?
so I'm shooting the same Bear Adapt I've had for the last couple years. I'm pretty average build and stature, 5'9", 192-ish pounds. I have a size 10 shoe and a 28.5-inch draw length. So I'm shooting the Sirius Orions 250 spine. I shot these last year and I really liked them. I killed a couple deer and a pig, I think, with them. And then this is the new Magnus single bevel. What's it called, Troy?
The shredder.
The Shredder. So I'm going to shoot this year. I have not sent it at anything yet but a target, but I liked it when I did shoot it. And I'm also pulling 70 pounds, which I think we're all pulling 70.
We're all right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's weigh it.
Yep.
This is also a 250 spine.
This
difference
is
is
the
some of us
micro.
pull
though.
That's the
70
micro.
easier than others.
Yeah.
Some are easier, some are stronger than others.
Whatever that insert system is, it seems to be performing pretty well.
You are at 590 grains.
590.
Right on.
There you go.
Easy.
Easy.
This
Whoa.
thing is hot.
Yeah, the half jacket that Sirius came up with is really, really done well.
That system. Yeah.
And it's easy to install if you build your own. The sleeves are very straightforward to get, and they line up real nice.
My turn?
Those
Yep.
Apollos were bucked with
So I
Apollos.
just got a new bow in, got the Bear Persist. It's the 24 flagship bow. Got it set up and turkey hunted with it the last week of the season. Shot a gobbler in the last day I hunted at about 10 yards, so that was exciting. Really like the bow, really like the setup. About like Nicholas, pretty average build. 5'10", 175, 28-inch draw, a little bit shorter on the draw length, unfortunately. Wish I had those long arms. Comes in handy. But as far as the arrow goes, I'm shooting the Sirius Gemini 250 spine. And last year, Troy sent me, or the guys at Sirius sent me a test pack. I was curious to see. I figured I was right on the edge of like what a 300 or 250.
Right.
And the 250s just shot, bare shaft just beautifully out of the bow. I did some high-speed stuff with it, and it's like, yeah. And so I think they're 27.5 inches long, got 150 grain field point in with a lighted knock, and I'm guessing they're 535 to 550.
Let
somewhere
us
in there.
not guess.
We'll find
Let's
out
find
real
out.
quick.
Truth detector. 541 points. 543 points. Oh, if you jump.
So we're kind of
But they're-
all between the low fives and mid sixes now. And I've went all the way up to 7. We're all right there pretty close with a bunch of different arrow systems. We've gravitated more and more towards the Sirius arrows the last couple years. We've been testing a bunch of different brands of arrows out for 3-4 years. And like I just said, that Black Eagle, I think, Black Eagle Spartan, was that the one initially?
That's what you were shooting the first year you came here.
Yeah, we kind of went down the line and shot a bunch of different ones. But after we got those Apollos, man, those were like, these are
I remember watching
freaking
you.
meat sticks here.
I remember watching you shoot them the first time. I was like, "Yeah, that's good arrow flight every single time."
Yeah,
I was when I met those guys 4 or 5 years ago. That was the most consistent shaft I'd ever shot. It was when I really started to go into bare shaft only and just said, I'm going to commit and figure this out. And I had 10 different brands of arrows. And you can make a bare shaft fly and knock tune anything. Those shafts, the Geminis are the same way. They're real consistent across the batch. You can take a whole dozen. If I have to bare shaft a dozen, I probably have to knock tune 7, but not all of them. And when I did less expensive arrows or lower grade carbon arrows or 03, 06s, you just have to sit there and knock tune with all of them.
Yeah.
And you can do it. I did it with some pretty inexpensive gold tip stuff in the beginning because I was just exploring. I knew I was going to break stuff. And then I met those guys and said, I'll give them a rip. And they really bare shafted nice. So
the structural integrity is a huge part of it.
Like not only the construction of the arrow, but the insert system.
Yeah, the insert system is really, really durable. We haven't had any failures with that, I don't think. I mean, when we just shot it through that pig shoulder a while ago.
Multiples of times.
Yes, with a bunch of different heads. Yep, very durable. Anyway, that's our arrow systems. Hopefully that helps you guys a little bit and answers some questions from y'all. A lot of people have been asking, like, what size is Greg's arrow? How long's Greg's draw length? Or how long's Nick's draw length? And what arrow does he shoot? So hopefully that helps. We're going to go shoot some pigs.
And you can always message me. Ironically, it's Ranch Fairy. It's pretty easy to find. But if you're wondering what you should do or what test kit you should get or what spine you should get, I'm also affiliated with Sirius, obviously, and I'll help you out. So just message me, Troy at ranchfairy.com if you want to email me, whatever you want to do. There's a lot of confusion out there. I've broken a lot of stuff and tried to make things as simple as I can make them, and I'll help you out anytime. Just reach out to me.
He really will. I've talked to a lot of people face to face.
Even Zach.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, man, I messaged Ranch Fairy and no joke, immediately emailed me back.
Yeah, I'm trying
he
to
sent me a broadhead. Sorry, I shouldn't probably give away all your secrets.
Oh, yeah. The broadheads that say do not lick in them.
Yeah.
No bleeding.
One thing I didn't get to mention, or I was going to try to slip in there, was you were like, I'm average size, but we didn't mention that you're above average strength.
Oh yeah, we
yeah.
didn't get into that. Well, I don't want to make other people feel bad around here that are the same size.
But how many fathoms do you have out here? What is that, 1 fathom? Is that the measurement? That's a fathom from one finger.
Nick, you said you're
fingertip
5'9".
to fingertip.
Nick,
5'9" or
Nick,
5'10",
stand in front
I really
of
don't know.
But you
Nick,
got
stand in front of Warb and both spread your arms out.
but you've got longer arms than I do. Yeah. Team Brokeback Mountain.